I don't know a lot about him. Can you tell me much?
Not really, actually. Cairo's only played a couple of officials with Mindfreak. He seems like someone that's just kind of been pulled out of the pugs. I don't know. They must have found him somewhere. But as far as I know, he doesn't have any competitive experience really anywhere in Oceania. Certainly not anything of note on HLTV. So maybe a little bit in, ESCAs or whatever and stuff like that. That's actually not on HLTV. But he's played a couple of pugs, a couple of matches, I should say, with Mindfreak. One of them, most notably, and I feel a little bit bad bringing this up, but it's just too funny to not bring up, was his very, very first game he played was the game against Underground in ESL Challenger League, and he went -26 on his first officially recorded HLTV map. Now, the context there was that map was 65 rounds long, but he did go -26 in his first map of officially recorded Counter-Strike. So that's a little bit sad. We'll see if he can do a little bit better today as we jump into the server with Mindfreak, kicking things off on the CT side, and Payne doing a bit of a number there onto Drox's head. There is an exchange back for Vision, but 4-on-4 is where Housebets find themselves.
Yeah, I think unfortunately might have let the pressure get to him, but this time, let's see if he can change that narrative. Oh, Techstar, I don't think he was spotted there under the bridge. Either way, Housebets straight towards mid, and Mindfreak bringing a few members to the party. 3 HP between Payne and Tux. Oh, that's a rough place to be in, and now they just got to try to make a read as to where this bomb is going, and we know it's going back to B.
Yeah. It's a round that really heavily favors Housebets at the moment. Even though it's 4v4, like Tux and Payne are going to fall over to Astragas to win. So if they can get themselves even one between the two of them, I'll call that a miracle. Payne has done so. He's got that kill onto APOC done, and Cairo also chiming in with a headshot. That's going to send PZ packing. He's not interested. He's just booking it over toward the A-bomb side, and Mindfreak might still find a way to sort of just limp through this round.
Damyo may be able to get this kill onto Payne and cut off that rotation. Payne knows the longer that he just hangs at the back of sight, the harder it is for PZ to win this round with 3 CTs all up in the heavens. Oh, a moment's notice, and PZ knows he has to fight here. Couple of shots on the body could have done it. Damyo wins his, but with no time on the clock, that is going to be Mindfreak with a pistol in the back pocket.
2 pistols in the back pocket for Damyo, though. He will take the dualies through. But yeah, I mean, I think we should kind of just briefly touch on where we see this matchup going. Because look, we had a bit of a discussion around who might win this season of ESL Challenger League. But as far as this matchup is concerned, do you lean one way or the other?
I think from, I guess, recent experience, I kind of liked what I saw from Mindfreak more. But losing Gump has got to hurt. And after what you told me from Cairo, look, it looks like he's already doing a little bit better.
Yep.
So solid start, maybe feeling a bit more confident after a few officials under his belt. And I dare say, look, a CT pistol in the bag is a great way to start Anubis. Get a few extra rounds before Housebets can get rolling on that T side. But look, they have managed to go for the force here. Mostly just around Damyo surviving at the end of that round. Not what you want to do on a pistol with just Kevlar. Kind of screws with your economy. And now it's just a big old hit towards that A side of things. Lurk on Drox. Cairo with the molly forward. Or smoke, rather, and is hoping that he can survive. A little bit of helping hand with Techstar behind him. But Mac-10s have created the space that they've looked for. PZ, one, no more.
Ooh, hang on. Damyo and Drox have been able to chime in, and that's all of a sudden put a bit of a spanner in the works here for Mindfreak, requiring Tux and Crunchy to get involved, and get involved in a big way. That'll be a tough one to win for Crunchy. Almost really impossible, and now kind of requires Tux to get some work done. Doesn't seem like it's going to be happening here, though. He's quick in to CT spawn. He finds both the kill under APOC and Damyo, and then gets Drox as well. Tux, the Superman for Mindfreak, will get them the 2-0 lead, but that was way closer than they would have liked it to have been.
Oh. Final second in that one. Insane scenes, and I don't know what was going down. Maybe a flood of the comms as they fought for the storage room. Maybe Drox, thought that fighting that in the 1v1 was the best case scenario, but mate, bomb's kind of planted for you if you just survive for another second or so, let him get to sight, and then take the fight after he taps it. That's a locked round. That is a locked round there, Jordan, that's gone awry. 3v1, catastrophe.
Yeah, not ideal. Yeah, I think we're probably going to be seeing a bit of that tonight, Mac. Another force buy coming through from Housebets, by the way. So they know that they've done a lot of damage to the CT economy. They're not ready to let Mindfreak wrestle control of this half away from Housebets just yet. So they're going to keep fighting for it. Yeah, there's a lot of discussions that I want to have around this matchup, but we just don't seem to have the time for it. Because again, another important round going to be playing out. And that grenade is a beautiful one, landing at the feet of Drox and damyo.
Yeah. I don't mind that retake set of util that they've tried to throw, but now caught close range. Cairo able to get 1.5, but that won't be good enough. And still one more man on the corner. Texter at the top of the stairs, finding two could have saved the round.
Could have. Back into the 2-on-2. So again, going right down to the wire for Mindfreak and another plan for Housebets. Crunchy in an awkward spot there, but luckily Tux will bail him out of trouble. PZ going down means that Crunchy has a bit more room to breathe. And is that a smoke? It is. A smoke in for main. Nice kill from Crunchy. Mindfreak secure round number 3. I mean, is there, again, an incentive for Housebets to just keep on buying here? Well, yeah. They've got plenty of money. They've got the bomb plant down. Mindfreak are going to have to invest 3 guns. So Mindfreak are definitely not out of the woods just yet.
Nice try from Housebets, but again, getting ever so close and then not quite being in the right positions or not quite, I guess, reacting to the sounds of what Mindfreak had given them. But yeah, again, round loss bonus, bomb plant, you better believe they're going to be buying back in and looking to crack that CT economy, which they're very close to doing. Smoke at mid from Mindfreak, boost across the top from Housebets. And that'll allow APOC Dud to just walk on through. Waltz towards the double doors and maybe catch those CTs, but it all depends on if that molly tick was heard, and with that HE to follow, I dare say they know that mid control is in the hands of Housebets for the moment.
Well, looks like we've got a little bit of a slower round out here. For the first time in a little while, that nade kind of donk right onto damyo. Mindfreak's util on the CT side so far has been pretty solid. The grenade usage in particular.
Nice molly to force Tux further away. The Temple and CT smokes coming through. Trying to block as best possible. With damyo already clearing out that front side of sight. Tux dancing around the pillar and hoping that he can have a helping hand, but it's just 2 players behind a smoke. And that makes things incredibly difficult. The break comes through a little late. Bomb already crossing. And now it's all down to the retake. If that happens, 1 for 1 again. And down to the 2v3. 1 bullet could put Texter and Pain down the drain.
Yeah, Cairo going to pick up the important kill on the Drox, which will leave damyo solo. Smoke available here for Pain, so that will make this retake a little bit easier, whether it goes on the bomb or in towards E-box. Looks like it'll be just straight onto the bomb. damyo, his position not given away, but there's really nowhere else for him to be. So Mindfreak should be pretty prepared for him in E-box, and doesn't seem like there's a whole lot that he can do about this one. That smoke presenting an easy defuse opportunity for Mindfreak, and that is 4-0. Housebets, I mean, they're going to keep battering down this door, man, because they keep getting these bomb plants, but they are really struggling to get these rounds over the line. And being on the T side of Anubis, you do kind of need to start being on the board.
Yeah, we're just trying to look at any info on Cairo, but yeah, there's just there's really not a lot to go off.
Yeah.
There's nada. So
I wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah. Might be able to get some info about him if Mindfreak win here, and we can have some extra time to talk about him in the following days. But yeah, for the moment, looking pretty solid. Housebets, unfortunately, you can't say the same. They just haven't been able to get over that final hurdle in a couple of these rounds. And we'll see what they do here into the 5th. Again, another bomb plant, another failed post plant. Going for the 3-2 split, but okay, similar setup. Looks like it's going to be boost across the top. This time, though, Texter will be here at mid to receive the pressure. APOC Dud coming around the corner, close range. Shadow seen, but the fight goes damyo's way.
1 for 1 so far, but mid-control for Housebets is going to be a massive reward for that exchange that they've had. Cairo looking to hold on to the site. Gets a bit of damage done on the way in there for Housebets, but no kills. So site control starting to go over to Housebets, but it's a tentative hold at best with Apoc Dud on half HP and damyo on 12. Plan has now gone down. And Mindfreak setting themselves up for another retake. Pain inside of the smoke will get found out shortly, you'd think. No, he's popped his way out, gets himself a kill. Cairo for one as well. And actually not just one, more than that. Cairo for 2, Tux for 1. And Mindfreak for yet another round, 5-0. And that one ends up looking even cleaner than the sort of previous 2 or 3. So Mindfreak starting to build on this CT side very nicely indeed.
Kind of running away with it. And it, you know, begs the question with some of this counter utility that we're seeing from Mindfreak, if, you know, the pick into Anubis has actually caught Housebets off guard. Maybe not prepped for that to be the first map, maybe expecting the El Clasico of a Nuke being the first in the series, or at least Mindfreak's pick. But so far so good. And the 2-1-2 setup, trying to play reactive, seems to be working for Mindfreak. Good cheat onto damyo, towards those T-stairs, but Housebets 4 men grip towards the B side of things. Let's see if they go for a shift in the approach.
This will be a bit of a faster round from Housebets. That is a change up from them, but the result seems to be leading in the same direction until damyo is able to find himself a couple vision almost through the smoke. Actually picked up Pain there as well. But util getting dumped on the site from the CTs, and the trades are coming back on through. We do have a numbers deficit for Housebets. Going to have to do some trickery to get themselves out of this situation. Cairo, nicely timed in from the E-box, will get himself one more, and now it's Vision who's just going to try and lurk his way out through the smoke, and Pain saw him. Pain found him. 6-0 is the score, and there is nothing about this or about that round that is Pain for Mindfreak, but certainly the case for Housebets, who are really, really struggling on this map now.
Great read out of Pain to figure out that they were playing cheeky buggers through the smoke to Temple. Lovely damage again from Mindfreak, and just, what was that, 3 alive at the end too? Just not allowing Housebets into this series, at least not yet. It is still early days, but 6 on the CT side is quite telling. I did speak to PZ while I was down in Melbourne, and he was excited for playoffs. Thought that they were all ready, but maybe just not quite ready for Anubis. Although the Tech 9's change in pace may have changed up the round. Crunchy pulling the secondary. It's not going to be enough, and Texter will come through with 2 and maybe just save the round.
So this B hold is looking way too good from Mindfreak at the moment. Housebets just don't seem to be able to break it. Doesn't matter whether they go fast, slow. Mindfreak have an individual that can find a multi-frag when it's required. And in this round, it was Texter. Gets that triple to end the round. So super solid stuff from Mindfreak. And I got to say, you know, I wanted to have a discussion about this earlier on in the game, but these rounds have just kind of been non-stop. Yeah. But, you know, I asked you, like, who do you sort of see being a little bit stronger in this one? What do you think? And you obviously said Mindfreak, which I think on the surface of it seems like a pretty reasonable prediction. But just based on the way that they played at Defrag Invitational, I was a bit concerned about where Mindfreak was at, right? They didn't do well at Defrag Invitational. They dropped Gump. I was like, okay, what's going on here? We haven't barely been able to see them really play anything. They played a couple more ECL games since the Defrag Invitational, but it was very hard to get a read on where they've been at. But whatever they've been doing, it seems to be working, and this is a great return to form for them as they kick off the playoffs of Oceania with a 7-0 lead on the CT side of Anubis.
Yeah, well, I think I saw, you know, more members of Housebets at IEM Melbourne, and you'd assume that Mindfreak was trying to get that prac time in, you know, with all the elite teams in the country. That's a great time to, you know, get yourself ready for playoffs. And I feel like, look, Texter and Tux at the helm are going to be the kind of guys that want to make use of every opportunity possible. So, could be good to, you know, speculate on that one. Maybe get some answers over the following couple of days. Good push from Cairo in front of the progression utility. And it's caught Housebets sleeping yet again.
Yeah, Texter, solid as ever. Up to 9 and 4 now, and this is just looking worse and worse for Housebets. Damyo, he will get himself one, but Crunchy, nice trade. Bit of an awkward angle for him, but still gets it done quite comfortably. And so that leaves PZ solo with, well, this to do. And he has seen Texter there by the looks of things, but realistically, what are you expecting out of this round from PZ? Surely not a lot.
Miracles.
Yeah. Pineapple Zip. That's what we're expecting.
Pineapple Zip, my goat. And with 10 seconds, he will at least have an AWP to fight with in the next. And without a plant this time, it's probably just a bit of a save around him. Oh, you can fashion a buy. Just go down to those Galils. Mindfreak very interested in going for the hunt, but a little bit too late on that one. And they won't be able to find him, but that is now going to be 8 on the board for Mindfreak. Looking flawless so far on the CT side of Anubis.
Yeah, I have to say this was not what I expected at all. I didn't necessarily expect Mindfreak to be bad. Don't get me wrong. But I expected a closer game than this. I mean, to be fair, Housebets have been going through some changes of their own. So perhaps struggling to integrate all of those changes. But I will say, last time I got to see them play, Vision was quite solid. Now 1 and 8. Apop does 2 and 8. Drox, the newer addition to the team, 3 and 8. So something's not going right for Housebets, although this round may be starting to lean in their direction a little more so than the previous, and a chance for one. Unless Crunchy can get some work done from E-Box, which is not going to happen. He'll drop to Vision.
Yeah, Damyo. Just trying to figure out which way he wanted to go through that smoke, and I think he's heard that rotation out of mid. So this is going to be a perfect pincer onto the B site, but this is where the only 2 remaining Mindfreak members are. But the backstab looks way too good coming in from Damyo, and that is going to be Housebets. Got that first round on the board.
Well, they're going to have to get 4. There's no discussion about it. They will need 4. And if they can't get that, then I won't give them much of a chance in the second half. Even if they do get that, 4 rounds on the CT side, well, 4 rounds to play with, I guess, on the CT side is really not a whole lot. Nothing to write home about, certainly. You need someone to be firing up here as well. I mean, Damyo's been pretty decent, 11 and 7. But he needs a bit of help.
Good mollies to try and take that mid control. And just try to go through the molly of their own. The smoke coming down a little late. Cairo finding one before falling. And he's got the help of Pain right behind him. Texter fishing through the smoke finds the double. And just like that, that second round that Housebets really needed is looking like it might have gone awry already.
Yeah, that's rough. That just goes to show that Mindfreak are easily on top of this game. You know, and they're not going to let Housebets back into it. How many times do you see a big lead from a team, you know, 5-0, 6-0, something like that, and then one round happens and it's like a switch is flipped and we're back to something like a 6-6 half.
Exactly.
Doesn't look like that's going to be the case today for Mindfreak, at least not here on Anubis. As now they're up to 9, so they're just going to keep stacking on these rounds.
Lovely work out of Mindfreak so far. And it is just what you like, right? Teams picking into maps and showing exactly why they've done so. Looking like they deserve to be the team to win it. And Housebets at the moment need 2 more to have any chance at being involved in the conversation for that second half.
Oh, gonna slow it down again, Housebets. Very default heavy setup. Not showing us a whole lot just yet. Nor is Mindfreak, to be fair, just sort of cycling through their util, holding onto space as best as they can.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Housebets is waiting for. Just let Mindfreak waste a bit of that util, and then we'll start to make our move in sort of the mid-round.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with it. Tux looking for a freebie through the con smoke. Nothing quite there to grab just yet. Damyo. It's a nice late adaptation just to dodge all the early util that was punishing him for advancing earlier. But again, it's going to be an attempt on the B site pump, and now with the man down, Texter falling, there is a chance for Housebets to at least find that second. Spacing good, and Drox, the openings couldn't be better. 2 men down, and Mindfreak, they got enough cash to go for this one if they want, but it's all about, you know, potentially handing that AWP across, and they're happy to at least let a second one go over towards the T's.
Yeah, I guess you can't really be complaining too much if you're Mindfreak. You've got 9 on the CT side. If this ends up being 9-3, it's still a fantastic scoreline. So no harm letting this one go. I mean, money's, obviously not fantastic for Mindfreak. So just say with these 2 guns, shore up the buy for the next round. 5 for 10. Either way, you're sitting pretty with this first half, and Housebets have got a lot of thinking to do.
All right, 1 left for the half. Let's see if we can hit that 9-3 scoreline. Lovely readjustment from Drox there to find the cheeky double. Vision as well, finding his as he made his way through Con. Big pick onto the Texter, who's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting so far for Mindfreak. 12-6, a stellar half. And right down to the pointy end we go. Housebets looking just to go for the default again. Throwing around a couple of bits of utility, nothing special, and not going to get locked early. Mindfreak looking like they will be holding some extra utility. Tux, though, getting frisky with it. Will be aided by Pain. Oh, just on the side of the smoke there. They opt to retreat instead. And with that aggressive play, it is just going to be Housebets putting some pressure over towards A instead. Only Cairo here, and if they can find the pick, that's the A anchor down, and no one here to help him.
Well, they haven't been able to find that pick just yet. Slow rotates coming through from Mindfreak. Cairo with a nicely timed incend. Damyo's out in front of it. Pain watching for that peak. Vision almost goes down. 10 HP. We're starting to see some kills fall by the wayside, though, as Housebets do actually manage to get themselves in onto the site. Texter has found a cheeky little timing out of that smoke, though, and he'll pick PZ up. So another spanner in the works for Housebets, and they can't really afford all these spanners, Mac. They're getting expensive. This could be 10 for Mindfreak.
Oh, tools. Incredibly expensive, unless you shop at Bunnings. Shout out the snags one time. But Apoc Dud, he's going to need a miracle as well as a couple of Bunnings snags to get the energy to make his way through this one, but he won't be able to hold in the 1v3. Did a red-hot crack, but Tux stood tall, said no, and put 10 on the board for Mindfreak as we head to the half.
Welcome back on into the second half, and this one looking pretty good for Mindfreak, as you can see for yourselves. 10-2 the scoreline. Housebets also moving on to the less favored side of CT Anubis. They will be feeling pretty grim about their chances of keeping this map alive.
But they won't give up. And just like life, guys, never give up. Always give it your best, no matter what day of the week it is. And no matter how many rounds the opponents stack against you, the game ain't done until you see that big number 13 on the board. And then even sometimes there's overtime, and that could change things as well. I hope that was insightful and inspirational for you guys. Now back to the game.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Well, not a whole lot of game happening at the moment, Mac. I mean, just Mindfreak working their way through the map, getting ready for a B take. It's not a bad call from them. Just the 2 players here. So damyo going to need to get work done with these dualies, and he will get deleted straight away by Texter, which leaves Drox alone, although Apoc Dud with that rotate starting to come through to assist the B-bomb side hold. Again, though, dualies not really landing the shots they need to. Just the 1 kill for Drox, which is not enough here. Mindfreak will take the site.
Retake will be difficult here. 1 flash to try to send the boys back in. It's all about where that gets placed. And if these shots get hit by the Housebet members, a little bit slow to start for the 3 that are remaining, but this is a great time to warm up for them, although they will be given nothing. And that's going to be both pistols and 2 more rounds needed for Mindfreak to take map 1. Unfortunate scenes, really. A bit of a slow one. Kind of all boiled down to how damyo did in Con, as you see on the screen just there. It didn't go well. E-Box, definitely one of the more contested pieces of Anubis. If you have E-Box control, it can completely influence how that T-side goes. Although, arguably, Mindfreak weren't really fighting for it a lot of the time. And it still went well for them. So maybe they are just built different.
Yeah, they had a bit more of a sort of site-centric hold, just players sitting around the site itself.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Housebets with a bit of a mountain to climb. They will force buy into this round. I'd imagine Mindfreak will be pretty aware of that being the case. You'd be expecting it given the circumstances. So they're not going to do anything too silly. Just take it slow here, see if they can find some info, see if they can find a pick. Bit of a default contact style play at the moment, but sooner or later they're going to have to push their way into a site, and they are working towards the stacked site of A. Flash goes into main. Cairo starting to clear it out. Molly up to pillar. Spotting 1, but here comes that counter util. This is Housebets now pulling the trigger. Lots of players jumping their way into A main. Payne in real trouble, needs help. Crunchy got binked there as well. He's not feeling too healthy, and he's got the bomb. He cannot afford to be going down right here, but 30 seconds left on the clock. He doesn't really have much of an option to do anything. Texter is going to have to be the one to make the difference, and is unable to do so. That's just unfortunate for Mindfreak. They've just decided to go straight into the heavily stacked side, but somehow Crunchy's gotten out of there and got a bomb plant, so that's something at least. If he can whittle down the numbers, might be able to make something happen here.
damyo fully aware that he's close, but all CT's going the one way. Maybe the perfect way for them to throw this round if Crunchy has plenty in the clip, which he does. Won't be able to find the second man, though. And it's A-OK. Housebets. Buy some breathing room. Buy another opportunity to maybe, in a far-fetched manner, make their way back into Anubis.
Yeah, maybe.
Need to say, the moving inaccuracy of Vision's gun here was a paid actor. Gets this one. He just shot onto Tux, I think, who was just around the corner or just coming around the corner. Oh, rough place to be. But imagine if he hit that third one too. Oof. Oof.
Well, I'm not sure that it's going to do too much to raise the spirits for Housebets, but they may get themselves another few rounds. Pistol buy from Mindfreak, though. They are going to have to contend with. And again, not anything overly quick here from Mindfreak. Bit of util toss in towards middle, trying to work that, but they have dropped down to canals, and that'll be where Mindfreak now do start to look like they're setting themselves up for a B take. Drox under real pressure, does well to get himself 2. Eventually falls to the molly, but finding himself those couple of kills has certainly relieved the pressure on the shoulders of Housebets on this B hold. And damyo now long range fight with the M4 against pistols, makes it look easy. Housebets have negotiated the danger round, and now they get their reward versus what should be a full eco.
One step at a time. Also, for everyone listening, audio listeners and video listeners, I guess, I do apologise. My voice isn't fully healed from screaming in the Melbourne crowd yet. If you couldn't figure that out, I don't always sound so... Do I sound deep or do I sound rough? Or do I just sound like me and it's in my head?
You just sound like me to me.
Like you? I sound like you now?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll take it. And I'm sure Housebets are going to be happy to take this one. Mindfreak. Ooh. Okay, they found the deagle. Drox, fortunate to be alive there with that shot going through the brick. Risky business. Oh, good timing on the flash. Wasn't quite effective on Pain, but the shots will do God's work.
Yeah, once again, a B finish for Mindfreak. Seems like that's where they like to default back to towards the end of the round. Not expecting much out of this one, though. Crunchy, deagle in hand. Maybe he can do something. Maybe not. And that'll be a 11-5 as Housebets get themselves a 1 more. But still a long, long way before this game gets super interesting. Housebets just trying to kind of put together the 4 or 5 rounds that they require to get this into a competitive territory. Another bite to come through, though, from Mindfreak. Is going to hope to put a stop to that.
Ooh, damyo. Getting aggressive. And Crunchy may have heard all this. He hasn't called for a helping hand, though, and it is just going to be the contact play forward. M4. Double dink. Will beat the Glil there. They won't overstay their welcome. Happy with the numbers advantage. Falling off. Plenty of util to play with and block. And in the meanwhile, Mindfreak going to speed things up over towards that A site. Molly towards the fountain. Incendiary back. And I think there's a flash at the ready for Vision to be sent on in. Placement on that HE. Bit of damage on a Cairo. And everything looking pretty good for Housebets in this round.
Yeah, so far so good. Cairo going to pop himself out of progression smoke, but instantly met by an incense, so he's not going to be able to work his way forward, and Vision will be gathering that info pretty quick. Smart sets himself up at pillar. You get the sense that Housebets have got a pretty good read on what's happening here, I would think, but they've actually just completely left the B bomb site, so that is a bit of a concern for me. That's a little bit too easy.
Yeah, heaps of space to get this one down. Housebets maybe given a little bit too much respect here, and things get awkward, but they are heavily invested in waiting for Apoc Dud to go for the flank, but now he's been spotted. Pain gets tagged down to 35, Drox with a pick, and this is looking like it should be A-okay unless Texter keeps on fragging, and there's going to be a little line up right in front of him. Big shots out of him. Cairo will go down as well. And there you go. 3 alive and a couple of upgrades for the Housebet members. And this is looking like it could be achievable now.
Yeah, CT side looking solid for Housebets. Bit of a CT side map apparently today. Still not in that territory where I'm super convinced yet. You know, winning 5 or 6 rounds in a row feels like a bit of a tougher ask for Housebets, but can't really fault them for this second half so far. It's been quite good.
Yeah, no qualms really. other than, unfortunately, getting rolled in that pistol round. I thought it was all going to be pretty much wrapped up from there. Ooh, aggression down water. I'm liking this from Housebets. A change in pace, and the T's not quite ready for the pain that damyo is bringing. Although they are going to try to fight this one back, but Drox and damyo, double D's doing God's work again. Big damage. Oh, it is going to be both members falling, but Mindfreak, they don't react just yet, holding their ground and looking for a couple of upgrades.
Well, it's patient from Tux.
Oh,
going to be caught on the reload. PZ has heard it. And will swing as a result. It's now Texter, who's expecting a peek here, but I don't know if he's expecting two. He almost gets both. They lined up. He's got info at least as to where at least one more of those players are. And now he's just got to figure out where this last guy is. Apoc Dud missing his first couple of shots. That's starting to get a little bit awkward. And PZ now tasked with the 1v1. Texter going to walk right into him by the looks of things, but USP is all the PZ has to work with, and that is not what you want. Texter wins the 1v3 and puts Mindfreak up to 12.
Just when I did say it is achievable, it gets much less achievable. It was a great opening, and it was just like the water aggression wasn't complemented by a push from the A main individuals either. It was sort of a one-pronged approach. It was like the coordination wasn't quite there. And look, maybe that's something they can work on in the future. Maybe that's something with, you know, the roster maneuvers that Housebets have had to bring in here towards the playoffs that they can work on in the future. Good in theory, though. And they do have at least one more map here. And also, this is still the upper bracket. If things go wrong, both these teams get a second shot down in the lower bracket.
That's true. But you got only one word lurking around down in that lower bracket.
Yeah, danger.
Feels scary. Yeah, that's the difficulty when you have such a poor first half. That round, you know, you can kind of deal with if you've picked up what you should on the T side. But as Housebets, you don't have anything to fall back on now. And what is looking like a pretty solid CT side just probably isn't going to get its time in the sun. They've been let down by their T.
PZ. Poised, ready, shoulder seen twice and a third, but Cairo takes him out. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. So far, so good. But Texter as well, he's down, and he's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting so far for Mindfreak, so maybe there's a world where Housebets get back in here. With that bomb getting planted, there's also going to be a lurk from Crunchy in the meanwhile on the backside, but it won't even be necessary. Drox in a 1v3, and it seems that they're aware of the flank.
Yeah, well, you've got enough members to cover all of the holes. And so Payne will just be locked in on this A main line. Drox, if he shift walks around this corner, he is a dead man. He is going to swing it. So that's given him a small chance, a snowball's chance in hell, one might say. Because this is not far away from being a Mindfreak round and a Mindfreak map as well in turn. He gets the kill with the Incend, but that is all he's going to be able to do as 13-6 will be taken by Mindfreak, and map 1 goes their way.
A tick after or something instead. Like, I don't know, man. They didn't have a good time in CS2, and I think there's like a follow-on effect from that. Even though the game is saying CS2 should be fixed now for Oppers. If we just want to run it back to CS:GO, mate, it was just so crispy. You shot and they died.
Yeah.
You shot and it connected. The bullet was like, ooh, very good. Anyway, everyone is connected. Everyone is ready, and there should be some death in the server. In a good way, because it's not real death. It's just Counter-Strike death, guys.
Yep.
But look, let's get into it. D2.
Death in Minecraft. D2 in Minecraft. I'm sure someone's done that. Could be interesting. But either way, we'll jump into this pistol with Housebets kicking things off on the T side. Apoc Dud has got himself smoke flash.
There was a great smoke there as well, which unfortunately may have been misclicked. So that's a rough start.
Yeah. Awkward. See if that comes into play here as Tux is maybe given a little bit more room around those mid doors. Doesn't see too much in the end. Gets a couple of shots off, but no connections on either side. And Housebets have worked their way out long. Bouncing around like rabbits, aren't they? It's always awkward with the USPs trying to deal with those Glocky boys, but 1 for 1 so far. Smoke in will allow the cross, and Housebets are starting to make their way onto the site. Flash over the top hasn't really affected anybody on Mindfreak, and Texter has certainly affected Apoc Touch. Crunchy doing much the same to damyo, and now the soldiers are starting to fall. Housebets, they did get the pistol underway nicely, and they got the bomb plant down, but they haven't got the pistol in their back pocket. That will go the way of Mindfreak. 1-0 is the score.
Starting similar to what we saw over on Anubis. Great bomb plant, but this is kind of all Housebets were getting, right? Is a little bit of damage. Bomb plants down, round loss bonus, so they were constantly buying. And then that first half just never went bloody well, and it was supposed to be their strong side. But this time, let's see if they can utilize all the smokes effectively and not fumble the bag or accidentally hit something on their bloody mouse pad. You never know. What do we got? Xbox smoke getting thrown. Looking like Housebets may make a lower play, but for the moment, Vision just looking for an opening with the dig, and he'll find just that.
Yeah, this will be a bit of a fumble from Mindfreak if they won the pistol, lost the second round. Did the exact same thing in the second half of Anubis. So the precedent is definitely there. You've just got Cairo holding on to long himself, which is never really going to be too fun. Only an MP9 and 3 players to get through. I mean, he's definitely not surviving here. He might get 2. If he gets a 2 for 1, he's done really well for himself, but getting all 3 is a tough ask.
Very awkward, and the timing, the wide swing, oh, it's all gone wrong. And now Payne has a long range to fight from. Drock's doing great work with another opening. That Galil been put to good use. And Mindfreak, they just want to be saving here every day of the week.
Yeah, awkward. Very awkward.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes the way it is, right? You know, a few players lose the main duels and you've lost the round.
I think it was Cairo over towards A-Ramp. It's just a very rough place to play from, especially after Housebets went for that like full wall of smokes on short, and the new age of Vanguard one, which also covers CT or whatever the hell it was. But he also had the 2 flashes, which could have allowed Payne to maybe play safer in pit. You know, you flash, you allow your player to have the best chance at fighting, even if it was, you know, an MP9 that you want a little closer. Just use the utility, you know, pivot a little bit, try to play for one extremity and not quite everything. So I'd say that was a big fumble on Mindfreak's behalf. Crunchy, look, what do you do there? He just got 1 bead. This one. Lovely little read through the smoke bloom. Boom!
Yeah.
Great shot out of Vision.
Excellent shot, yeah. You're right, not much you can do about that one. Looks like Mindfreak are going to be forcing into this one, though. Touch with a full component of util. Text are the same. Everybody else going to have to go for pistol and armor. So it could be a serviceable buy here for Mindfreak if they can maybe not nade themselves running through the mid doors. These deagle shots are going to have to be on point, though. You need an opening kill if you're Mindfreak.
Ooh. Missed opportunity. And Crunchy waiting for the other prong to activate through lowers. Housebets just here and holding. Ooh, but this is coming, flash forward. Nice little crossfire between the 2, and they'll be able to deal with the hullabaloo. Only Tux and Texter with the M4s remaining. Molly back, and then Texter as well. Nowhere near the fray. Over towards a long instead, and Tux not quite ready for PZ's position. So this is looking like another successful round for Housebets with a great read and good patience to deal with the uppers pump.
Yeah, not too much to do for Techstar. Just try and save that gun. You more of a Texter man or a Sharpie man?
Back in the day, Texter for sure, but these days I like the fine point, you know, the Sharpie. Yeah, I don't really find myself you know, using the fifth bit of the text to do silly art or, you know, bleed the ink through my pages of my textbook.
It is good that Taste is a bit of a Sharpie, though, so you do get kind of the best of both worlds.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Well, good effort from Mindfreak, I guess. Trying to make something happen with a buy like that one. Not going to be super easy. But not the start to the map that Mindfreak had anticipated after winning that pistol. It's kind of the worst way to start, though, isn't it? You win the pistol on CT side, and then you get instant reset. So T-rounds do start to build up pretty quick in a circumstance such as this.
Yeah. Oh, and it's pressure towards upper again. Maybe there's something that Housebets have shown before with the tendencies of sending members here. Crunchy. Oh, he's getting very hungry on that one. No chance at maybe running the way with a weapon. Just opting to keep on fighting with the USP, but it won't work this time, and Housebets find 3 swift rounds to put themselves in a healthy lead, considering how early it is. Boom. Boom.
Boom, boom. All right, back to it. Straight out long by the looks of things for Housebets, but there are numbers there for Mindfreak as well. 4 players for the long hold.
Yeah.
That's a lot of forces directed in that direction for Mindfreak, though. You get some value out of it. And now this short push, under scrutiny, that's for sure. The nade does a lot of damage, but the shots are just not there. A bink in onto Drox, and Mindfreak caught in transition. Housebets with this pace have just beaten Mindfreak to the punch. Tux is going to try and cross to get towards the bomb site. He can't do too much about the bomb plant, but needs to win some duels here and can't do so either, which will leave Crunchy solo.
Cracks the smoke, vision on the offline, and it will be respected this time. I like that from, was it Texter or Tux? I can't remember. Whoever it was, second last alive.
Tux.
Tux, right? Yeah. He just like wanted to commit to that fight on elbow and then sort of thought, you know what, this ain't going to be good for me. Just didn't take the fight, just ran over to the ramp. And I saw a world where maybe from there he could have found himself 1 or 2 bits. But yeah, no good so far. Crunchy warrants himself an upgrade to the AK, which will be nice moving it around 6. But Housebets starting to work up their economy with some healthy rounds. Look at that, 5 figures for Apoc Dud and Drox. And that's even after buying.
Is it Drox or is it Dr. Ox? Have you ever thought about that?
No, I've never thought about that, and I'm not going to think about that, Jordan. Don't you dare. Don't you implant that in my mind or anyone's mind. Guys, turn the audio off.
Dr. Ox coming into this round with an AK.
Don't you dare.
5-1 start for him on the map.
Stop
Pretty
it.
good.
I'm just waiting to block you again. I just want you to know that.
Dr. Ox opening kill in the round.
Stop it!
Well, bunch of nades there in the mid, already causing a ruckus for Mindfreak. Housebets are negotiating this T side quite nicely so far. Crunchy goes down, PZ with the shot. I mean, doesn't really feel like Housebets having to work too hard on this T side. I don't feel. I don't know if you're getting a bit of a different read on things here, but this is feeling like a bit of a walk in the park at the moment for them.
Good so far. Still early days. And the game does love to favour the T side. Let's see if Housebets can be able to crack open that B side. Ooh. So far okay, but Pain is going down. Surgical from Drox. And it's looking like a beautiful round out of him and a 5th for Housebets.
Yeah. just continues to build up for Housebets, doesn't it? Feels kind of similar to what we got in the first half of the last map, and just the fact that the roles are reversed this time around. It's Mindfreak that are on the receiving end.
Yeah. Okay. Housebets taking the long spawn. Flashes to support, corner smoke, everything you need. And no CTs in the vicinity. Mindfreak looking to escape away and play from short and A instead. 3-2 type split. Housebets just pausing, regrouping, and looking like they're going to send as much utility over towards the long as possible. May end up just seeing a refresh on that CT smoke. Molly and Banger to follow through, and a triple short setup. This could be hard for Housebets to get to sight if Mindfreak play this right.
Oh, they've fallen off the line. It's just Pain that's going to be watching. The smoke is going to come through again. Pain kind of having a little bit of a look-see. Housebets are biding their time nicely. Going to toss some util out to clear out the side as much as possible. Good connection in from Texter, even if Pain was unable to. So numbers advantage for Mindfreak, but they have to be aware of Dr. Ox here in middle. Didn't get me on that one, Mac. But Drox, he gets Tux. Will be traded back down nicely by Cairo. 3-on-4. Mindfreak maintaining the player lead, but bomb plant does go down in the meanwhile, and time ticking in the favor of Housebets now.
Let's see if the retake is going to be successful from this flank side. Texter will be spotted and dealt with, and this gets even more difficult. Mindfreak trying to make their way up short, but will be respected and respectful to Housebets too. Molly to site to try and hang and hold the Housebets members towards that A site. But 5 should survive at the end of this one. And Housebets really off to the races. An incredibly contrasting performance to what we saw on Anubis from them. And Damyo's gone back to look for a little bit more. Thought he might have been hunting for util, but he was just hunting for heads.
Yeah, this is starting to get a bit concerning for Mindfreak. Doesn't feel like they're getting anything done on this CT side. Again, another wishy-washy buy from them. Famous out for Tux, lacking head armor pretty much all over the place, but may not be the biggest of concerns given the AKs in play for Housebets, but that's not helping.
What are they looking at for the early round here? Mid-door smoke. Housebets just want that mid control. The Tux falling early, this thing gets a little bit harder for Mindfreak in the 8th. Oh, an early re-smoke as well from Mindfreak.
Mindfreak feeling the pressure. Crunchy will relieve some of it by getting that kill on Vision. So that's a start. Plenty of players set up outside of mid right now, so Texter are going to have to be pretty on point if they head in his direction. It is just Apoctad that's working short solo. Housebets loving this slow creep style. That is a mid to B smoke, but they are not mid to being.
It's all the ruse. Little Exy from the short side instead. High-low setup with long control for Mindfreak. Molly burning, but it comes through a little bit too late there. Housebets going to be able to continue to escape their way up short, but the bomb's gone down into CT of all things, and that's going to sell or buy actually for a lot of time for Mindfreak. And yeah, just like that, they're going to call the audible. Crunchy stops him on the cross, but he's going to be the trade from Drox, and he's got time to plant.
Yeah, and somehow Drox just picks up that bomb. I think whoever it was carrying the bomb basically died and threw it straight into the hands of Drox, so he could just like carry on like it didn't even matter at all. Damyo going to go down here in CT, but does a bit of extra damage onto Pain.
Yeah.
Drox in the 1v1. Comes down to a headshot here from Pain. And around that Mindfreak desperately need, but it's a tough duel to win. And Housebets have another.
Very weird situation, all things considered, but it works out in Housebets' favor again. Good reaction to what's gone down And speaking of reactions, nice one from PZ. Lock it onto the head through the doors there. Damyo did some great work. And Drox keeps doing this thing where he loves to get aggressive, even if it could cost them the round. And it did cost them the rounds in map 1. This time, though, seems to be working. Just pay attention to that. You know, loves to be Mr. Aggressive, but sometimes trying to be the hero can backfire. Speaking of aggressive, straight through upper dark, Mindfreak, they are hunting again. I don't think Vision spotted them, but he is aware that they like to do this. So it will boil down to the timing. And Vision should be able to stop that cross to lower unless the timing doesn't favor him. Texter across the top side. APOC answers back with one of his own. But this is going very well for Mindfreak. The molly will spread eventually, and Cairo forced into the open, forced into the crosshairs of Housebets. And what looked like it could have been a bit of an upset in the round. Mindfreak lose 2, and it should be an 8 for Housebets here.
Certainly should. I mean, at this point, Mindfreak are thinking, well, we don't really have any rounds on the board. Gonna have to start going for some of these.
Yeah.
This may not be the situation, though. I mean, you've got 2 players stuck on short behind a smoke that's now just fading. A flash ready. And PZ going to buy even more time. I don't think you can go for this. Like, even if you're thinking, man, we really got to go for this. Like, it's just not a winnable round ever. May as well save those 2 guns. In the end, Crunchy will be the sacrificial lamb. Payne's on his bike. It's going to be 8-1. What do you do if you're Mindfreak?
You just play for the second half, try and find a few more. That's really all you can do at the moment. Try to keep the weapons you bring into the round alive so you can, you know, have a fighting shot at finding, you know, 1 or 2 more rounds. It ain't over till it's over. Unfortunately, for Mindfreak, you know, they have that lower bracket, but they also have 1 more map, and that's Nuke. And they are known to have a pretty damn good Nuke here, Jordan.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely valid. Series is alive and well at this stage. And it's definitely looking like Housebets are going to be forcing us through to Nuke. Mid setup for Housebets this time around.
I think it's just about stemming the bleeding. Not allowing Housebets to get too confident or too warmed up. Because things have definitely been going right for them here on D2. Grouping up towards short. Yeah, this HE looks like it could be good, but that's going to be a little bit too deep, really. The T's had already crept so far forward. Nice timing in the execute. Smoke on the box as well. Good backfire, but the site is in their hands for the moment, and Mindfreak, they are looking for the retake.
Yep. Fake plan from Drox. APOC Dudge should be spotting out Payne in a second. Ooh, he's just hidden by that smoke. So he will survive a tad longer than I might have anticipated. But still no kills coming through for the CTs either. APOC Dud playing a game of whack-a-mole with Crunchy. So far it's looking okay for Housebets, but Payne starting to get involved with that AWP has now cut off the reinforcements from the bomb site. This is where it could start to get awkward, but Vision and damyo very quickly strike and bring it back for Housebets. Text up, charging his way forward. Defuse is on, and no chance. 9-1. That was about as close as Mindfreak have gotten to a round win, but still felt a long way away.
Well, 2 rounds left in the half. How's that economy looking? A little scratchy. And at this point, I think you are just, you know, heavily investing in. You can't get too much going in the next unless you win this round anyway. And 11-1, looking like it is a very realistic scoreline at this point. Triple, even quadruple aggression up from short. And Mindfreak, they are looking to go very intensely aggressive towards mid, which could work on a timing.
Yeah, Mindfreak just putting their hand in the lolly bag and trying to pull out the snake. That's what everybody wants. I don't know, it's going to be tough here. There's a lot of jelly beans, licorice, you know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not
red frogs.
Yeah, they're not really getting what they want. You know, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, green frogs, right? Sorry.
Couple of fake teeth coming in there as well. You ever like those fake teeth?
I was a big fan. Apparently, no, they discontinued the teeth. Did you know that?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they got rid of them in the party pack. You can't get them anymore.
There's no why.
I don't know. People just didn't buy them enough. I guess they were kind of only good when you got them in the mixed bag of lollies, right? Like the one from the corner shop that cost $2.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you wouldn't buy a whole bag of teeth, but I think getting the teeth out of the, don't even. You know, you're exposing yourself on stream right now.
That's all right. I'm just one of the odd few that sometimes bought a whole bag of teeth to themselves.
That is a bit strange.
I'm a strange fella, aren't I?
I can agree with that. The teeth, though. You know, I don't think they're worth discontinuing, right? Like, they were always fun. Just make a few less of them. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, exactly. I think, you know, the problem is, you know, that red food coloring, red frogs are king. The raspberries.
Yep.
What else? You know, the fact that the bananas didn't get discontinued, they still exist, and the teeth got discontinued. Now that's a conversation.
See, I don't know. I think the bananas are pretty good. I wouldn't go a whole bag of bananas either, to be fair. But
exactly. I think they're okay. You know, in dribs and drabs.
The thing is, though,
I'd be able to eat a whole bag of teeth and not bananas. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, see, I think the proportion of people that like bananas is definitely higher than the teeth enjoyers. That's all I'll say. This could be an interesting push from Crunchy. He's not able to get too much done there, though. It just seems like everything's going the way of Housebets at the moment. They're going to bust their way out onto B. That's well done from Tux through the flash. He got 2. But still not enough to hold on to the bomb site. Payne going to try to accelerate. I mean, just throw caution to the wind at this point, mate. Why not? Hasn't worked out. And again, it seems like we are poised for a Housebets victory here. And yet another round on Dust2.
But before then, a half-time. And will it be 2 or will it be 1 for Mindfreak? Cairo tried this transfer, but it didn't quite work as he intended. Unfortunate for Mindfreak, but after the break, we'll see if the comeback can be on. Welcome back.
Well, yeah.
Welcome, for how long, I guess, is the question you're about to ask there, Jordan.
I've got questions. I've got a lot of them.
Like what? Give me one.
How?
Oh, no, I can't answer that one. Give me another one.
Why?
I'm not really the answers man. But look, time may have all the answers for you, Jordan. And Vision hit a cracker to kick us off. Swift reply from Texter. And in the 4v4, that should favour Mindfreak, but they've still got to get over towards the A site. Easy. Good timing on that smoke break. Oh, dink through the corner. And things getting a little awkward now. Flash forward, but Housebets rather, not Mousebets. They will be able to find one more. Tuck's falling, and they're going to keep fighting for space. Okay, Mindfreak ain't done on the fight side of things.
Where are they going? Where are they going, Mac?
Where are they going?
What is this? They've decided we're going to go all the way around the map to try to go to B. I don't even know. They were just on their bike. They didn't even want a bomb plant.
Okay.
It's the piss around, bro. You need a bomb plant at least. Come on. That was something.
That was something. Could have been glorious. Unfortunately, it was a little bit rough. And in round 14, we may crown a Dust2 king for the series, and it's looking like that might be Housebets. They got a much better buy, and Mindfreak will not be saving into this one. They will do the logical thing and spend every single penny they have. Smoke towards the corner, just to feign aggression. But we know that Mindfreak, they're not coming this way, and Housebets may keep on going forward. Creeping, sneaking and uppers, although a very loud sneak. Crunchy knows he's got Drox locked in, but Drox doesn't need to peek just yet. Invest in a smoke to deny vision.
Yeah.
Well, patient approach from Mindfreak so far.
Yeah. Mid B smoke. Looking like it will be the call. Texter, very lucky to be alive. Frog smoke, timed with the flashes are nice. Oh, and they're looking different directions, but Drox is going to be able to react in time, and the crossfire's a little bit too much to deal with. Two guns better than one most of the time, but not in pain now. 1v4 to try to close things out, and I don't know if this one's going to go as expected.
Ooh,
Knives
Drox.
out.
He wanted it. He did want the knife, but not going to get the chance to grab it. And in the end, Housebets find themselves a dominating display on Dust2. Two very one-sided maps so far in this series between Housebets and Mindfreak, which is contrary to what we're used to seeing.
Come through with the pretty good strat from time to time, but the big question for me is, how's Cairo going to be looking on this map? Because everyone else, we know what they're capable of. We know that they're pretty bloody good. They're sharp, they're smart, they're structured. And so far, Cairo has showed us, look, on Anubis it was good. On Dust2, obviously, you know, no one really showed us anything. So I don't feel like that's a good example of what he can do here for Mindfreak, but now's the time to shine.
Yeah, his two best maps have been on Anubis, the game just then that we saw, and one against Underground towards the end of ESL Challenger League Season 49.
Yeah.
But Nuke,
New Age Pugger.
Yeah, it was a rough one for him last time, like I said, highlighted just because it's funny. Minus 26 in that map last time he played it, which just sounds horrible. But it was also an incredibly long overtime, so it does sort of help out in that respect. Vision, nice double kill from him, and Apoc Dud chiming in with one as well. So this CT pistol going so nicely. Vision is going to force a Tux. We are into the 1v3. But this one, tough ass for Tux. He's got to be aware of that player close and is not. So Damyo claims the victory for Housebets.
Yeah, a little rough, little rocky there with the Glock, but beautiful couple of shots coming out from Housebets. And yeah, feels like confidence looking completely different now for Housebets. After a dominant Dust2. Let's see if they can get through. What are they brewing in here? Just one dig for Crunchy. Everyone else happy to Glock it up. And try to Glock it in. See where we're going. Okay. Over towards the silo, looking to fight at the outside area. Apoc Dart at range with the MP9. Should be able to farm through these Ts. But where's that Deagle gone? Mr. A up on the silo. Not going to have any CTs to find. Not yet. Maybe damyo could walk into a bit of a grave fate here.
Text up. Maybe doing the same. So damyo's going to be okay. He spotted those players out on top of Annex roof and getting all the info he needs. There's barely any shots even being fired back in his direction, and Apoc Dart has been called through to claim that kill. They are not aware that Payne is still here. Otherwise,
hard clear.
I'm sure Apoc Dart would have continued to swing that. It doesn't seem like they've got a great understanding of exactly where he ended up, but he'll go down anyway. So 2 on the trot for Housebets. Maintaining some of that consistency through from Dust2, but this is where things get a bit different. Mindfreak, you did mention, typically pretty solid on the T side of Nuke, and it has been in the past their go-to map. So we're expecting them to have a little bit available for us in these coming gun rounds.
Early days. They can turn it around. I'm very much not expecting another one side of the fair like we got on the previous 2 maps. But who knows? Maybe, just maybe, Tuck's going to be throwing that one spot utility. Lovely couple of smokes. A few teams have been picking those up. Just the old 2 smoke diags. But of course, the glaive smoke as well just denies so much information to the Ts. So they have to be a little worried. Hence the investment of that molly towards red. Damyo happy just to play from the back of warehouse or garage. Do you know that they call it garage in Europe, Jordan?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I didn't know necessarily, but if you would call it garage, I'd go, okay, I know where that is.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Didn't really think about it, to be honest. PZ gets an easy one onto Crunchy, but there is some work being done by Mindfreak. How does control well and truly theirs?
Yeah, little creep around. Good block smoke towards the bottom of hell. Definitely will force Mindfreak to route back into heaven this direction, and there's eyes on this position too. PZ going to be the first point of contact, and Apoc Dart can pivot here from close at hut. He's got all eyes over towards, I was going to say main, but the molly at heaven buys an extra 7 seconds or 5.
Or 5. Incent.
Or 5. One or the other.
Flash down. Mindfreak gonna have to go. They're walking into a big old crossfire. PZ unspotted just yet, and he is gonna get a free couple of kills. 3 of them, in fact. And that's a big problem for Mindfreak. When you don't get that opening kill, when you're not able to clear out Apoc Dart's position, it significantly hampers your chances of getting that round, because PZ then also does not get unearthed, and his position is so strong. Ultimately, 3-0 for Housebets. So Mindfreak back to just the pistol armor buy once again. They'll take a half buy, try to get the money in line. This is looking quite solid so far on the CT side for Housebets.
All right, let's see if these pistols can change the narrative for the moment. Ducks again, 1 spot util, just looking to deny vision. 2 Housebets. But damyo not flirting with the idea of pushing through that wall of smokes. And Jordan, I've got a little emergency I've got to deal with, but I'll be back in, I'd say, a minute.
Okay, 1 minute.
Can you control the ship for that?
Yep.
Long?
Hey
Thank
Siri,
you.
start a timer. Let's find out. 3-0 though is looking good for Housebets, and Mindfreak working their way down into secret. Probably should have been cleaned up a little bit better than that, given there was so much damage done, but now it's Apoc Dart's turn to get involved. Vision in here as well for his free kill or 2. And that ultimately is not a bad shout at all from Housebets. 4-0. They don't lose a lot. Mindfreak back to the drawing board as they head into another gun round. Still early days though on the map. So keen to see what Mindfreak are going to do this time. They've been testing outer mostly.
Not as much presence towards out of this time from Mindfreak. Looks like it's just going to be a straight A hit. Got players up on top of the T roof, setting up some util. Smoke in for Annex. Apoc Dud answering it quite nicely. Gets himself an opening kill and then some good damage, but Drox with a big old whiff is going to allow Mindfreak into the site. Not terrible retake positions for Mindfreak though. Vision with a lot of space to work here in lobby. Is he going to smoke that molly off? I think a lot of this is really going to come down to what Vision can do. If he's able to push his way in and grab an opening kill. Might have been spotted there at back fence. Certainly has been, but time of the essence now. So Housebets more than likely just going to opt to save. We'll get away with a couple of guns. Money's good enough for Housebets to afford another buy. So, job not yet done for Mindfreak. Drox here in Hut, just going to get his head banged off. That's texted for a couple of entries, actually. And looking for even more is Crunchy through the smoke. He won't quite finish off damyo, but damage done. Site control taken. And nothing positive to be said about Housebets in that one. Mindfreak changed the pace and completely bamboozle Housebets. Oh, money a bit problematic for Housebets in this one. So just going to be the half buyout from them. Get the money in line, see if they can conjure up anything with the pistols. I've already rotated a couple of players down lower, and Mindfreak not interested in heading in that direction. Are starting to work through outer. Already the setup for Mindfreak looking a pretty good one. Crunchy's just going to walk his way into heaven. Perfectly timed. And this is supreme map control by Mindfreak. Oh, but that's a great shot from damyo. There's nothing you can do with a deagle shot in the head. Apoc Dud now hiding inside of that smoke. Could definitely catch a timing onto Pain. But the House of Cards is coming apart for Housebets. Apoc Dud uses his timing incorrectly, and PZ and Drox will be dealt with by Cairo. That'll be 3 now for Mindfreak, and their T side is definitely starting to get rolling. No warp this time for Housebets. Not a lot of util either. Really escaping the bottom of the barrel. Mindfreak have put themselves in a stable position on this T side and starting to kind of be reminded why it was one of the maps that they did like to go towards previously. Again, that outers take for Mindfreak as they'll toss the util, smokes, mollies everywhere.
Oh, look at that, 1 minute on the dot.
That was probably about 6 to 7, I'd say.
You reckon?
It was at least 3 rounds.
Ah, well, I was made a human, not a clock, mate. Unfortunate. Was never good with time.
That I can believe.
Was it a good time here while I was gone, though?
If you were a Mindfreak fan, it was.
Oh, maybe I was the jinx. Watch, Housebets are going to win now. I'm back.
Maybe. They've got a player advantage. Decent bit of map control for Mindfreak at the moment.
Ooh, Cairo. We're going to chunk him down through the wall. Mindfreak as well. Letting Crunchy lead the charge. Look for the info. Only PZ here towards dark. It would have been great if he was right around the corner, but now it's a Vision taking point on top side, and he does it all himself. Tucks a little bit late to the party. We'll get dinked down. Freebie for PZ to mop on up. And now Cairo in a 1v3. This is looking rough, especially with 1 second on the clock. Oh, could have been... Oh, he will... Catastrophe.
Yeah, so Housebets get themselves up to 5. But haven't done a whole lot to elevate their financial position. It's kind of just the status quo being maintained.
Yeah, lucky Mindfreak had so much money from the previous rounds, or things could have been awkward with Cairo falling like that. Diags going to be fading shortly. Oh, and no space now for Mindfreak to cross safely. Hang on, look at damyo's position. This could certainly work against him, but he's happy just to keep on fighting and watch a little bit more. No flashes to help him out, not just yet. Here it is, big banger, 3 T's blinded, and it's APOC dud to pounce. Big supportive utility from PZ just when it was needed. Now the 2v4 is going to take a whole lot of work here.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right. You might be the jinx here for Mindfreak. Because as soon as you've come back, they've just looked a shadow of themselves again. Cairo,
maybe I just wasn't actually watching on Anubis. Maybe that was the secret.
Maybe. I mean, oof. Tux is getting a bomb plant, I guess. Could be beneficial, but a 1v4 is a tough ask. He is quite experienced, though. See if he can pull anything together. That was almost something. Nice spray transfer onto PZ, but just didn't get the chance. So he was copping a beaten. So 6 on the board now for Housebets, and this half is starting to trend in their direction. There will be enough for a buy again through from Mindfreak. It's going to be a constant onslaught from gun rounds from that T side.
Okay. Into the 10th. Let's see if Mindfreak can bring the heat we were kind of expecting. Deep smoke towards Trophy. And again, this time the 3 smoke wallet outside. Good timing on that HE, but PZ not actually spotting it, so the cross will come the whole way through, but it doesn't matter. PZ standing tall and shooting true. Bomb going to be able to make its way into secret in the meanwhile. 2 members down here, 1 still lurking at the warehouse, and Cairo as well. Looking to put some pressure towards ramp side. He'll go down. Vision with the off angle. You're never going to clear that one.
Damyo. Got a bit of work to do here. 2 players. Awkward time for the peak. Bit of a shooting gallery set up there from Mindfreak. Going to start to get them back into this round. Payne with 1 kill on Division as well. That's the B site taken. 3-on-3, the post plant here. It's not going to be a whole lot of delaying util from Mindfreak, but they're just getting kills all over the map. Individual duels being won everywhere. And Payne, he's going to try and flash himself out to safety. It's not going to happen this time around, but you've still got numbers here for Mindfreak that can win this round. Tux, nice tool for him. And that'll pretty much seal the deal as Trox has got nowhere to go that's going to be safe. Tux will have to swing this eventually. But it has given Texter time to get close anyway. Even if Tux would have gone down, that was a tough one for Trox. So Mindfreak keep themselves in the conversation.
Great crosshair placement. On display this round from Mindfreak, but can they keep it up? 2 remaining for the half. Money looking good for this one and the next. But you can't say the same about Housebets. They're forcing in, realizing that they kind of got it. Well, they will just be going down without a fight here in the first half. 4, arguably good enough, but 6 would be even nicer for Mindfreak. 5-7 at this range is deadly, as you can see. And it's going to be a free upgrade to the AK. Oh, Drox does it over aggression again. Maybe biting off more than he could chew, but Vision in the meanwhile has also gone forward. Crunchy putting pressure on a different extremity, drawing attention back towards the A site lineup for him. Damyo on the trade game's good, but Mindfreak still should take this round.
I don't know if I'd be counting my chickens before they hatch just yet. Vision has now got an AK, and he is wrapping around behind Cairo. He's going to get the kill. He will, yes. So it's down to just Tux once again. I mean, it probably shouldn't have even gotten this close. Crunchy getting away with a lot of work on that A-bomb site. Bomb plant now down. Requiring a clutch from Tux, and that's a great way to start it. Damyo picked up quickly. And Vision, he's been allowed out vent. She's been making for a bit more of a favorable lane duel, but he was not expecting Tux there. Nearly gets him done. 5 HP for Tux, but a very important clutch being won for Mindfreak.
Where else could he be? He didn't shut the doors. Awkward situation, and Mindfreak, very lucky situation. Vision just looking the wrong way at the wrong time. And there you have it. So yeah, Crunchy, huge round out of him to get 3 there. But that being said, he's only got 5 kills so far, so a very quiet half for everything else so far. And Housebet's going to be forcing into the final round of the half yet again. Lots of utility here. This time just going for the deep nip walls. Crunchy, banger of an opening. Just when he was, put on display. He's happy to take another name. AK, unfortunately for him, gets dropped down. And the rest of the team could suffer the consequences, depending on how the rest of these go. And a wide swing from Apoc Dud is going to be more than enough to make that one work.
Yeah, 3-on-3. Again, favorable enough for Mindfreak, but definitely winnable for Housebets. And you're really wanting this 7th if you're on that CT side. So they may just be missing out on the pass score. Mindfreak putting them through their paces on this map of Nuke. Tux back at the silo. Already starting it very nicely. Good form from that last clutch. Is going to be transferred into this round, and it's an easy one in the end for Mindfreak. 6-6 the scoreline at halftime. So here we are again. Half time is passed, and it's 6-6. Mindfreak and Housebets pretty evenly matched on the third and final map of this series, which was somewhat to be expected. It's always a close match between these two teams. We often go to 3 maps. We always go to 3 maps. And at least one of the maps in the series ends up being an OT or a very close result. We haven't had that yet. We had a one-sided map on Anubis and then much the same on Dust2 the other way. So maybe Nuke will be that one that ends up being quite the journey. And it started well in the second half here for Housebets. Pistol underway as Cairo has been taken out of the picture. Apoc Dud looking for a little bit of a jump into Annex. Won't be able to make that one work. Payne with a dualies, a double. It's maybe not enough to win this round because the trades are coming through thick and fast. Housebets have brought it back to a 2-on-1. They're thinking about going B, which Crunchy has yet to discover, though we'll be inferring based on the positioning of Vision. Bomb plant's gone down. Drox in the 1v1 is hearing all of Crunchy's movements and is set up accordingly. So it'd be a pretty tough one for Crunchy to win. Ooh, but gets the info, not the shot. And Pistol Round will go the way of Housebets. Heading into round number 14. We have a little bit of a pistol armor buy from Mindfreak. Not a whole lot to really speak to. Housebets have already got themselves quite a bit of map control. Drox so quick. Up into heaven. Yeah, that's working out nicely. That Mac 10 getting the opening kill onto Tux.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Smoke down for Cairo. Not sure that's going to help him out all that much. Apoc Dud suspecting there might be another player on the site. It's not going to be proven correct. Payne from Upper has claimed 1 kill in this round, but it is all that you're going to be able to get out of this one. It's the silver lining to a very dark cloud for Mindfreak, because this second half has definitely not started favorably for them at all. Nice waterfall smoke, though. It's going to give Payne a little bit more room to work.
Yeah. He's going to have to do all the work. And with little time, I dare say, he's going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. But he should be able to get away with that Kevlar, bomb planted default. So no free helmet for him. But at least he's going to be able to toss the, 5-7 or Mac 10 across in the next. There is a chance for damage onto Housebets. And that's all you can really ask for. Maybe even farm up some extra doshy dosh. Housebets plenty of cash after minimal casualties in the last. Only Drox on the reinvestment game. Everyone else looking pretty damn good. And it's a solid start to the T side for them. But look, you really can't count Mindfreak out at any given moment. You know that they are resilient, as you saw in the first half, and they're just going to keep on doing that. So Mac 10 toss across to someone else. 5-7 going to be able to find value, and Payne is just going to be able to almost tear Housebets to shreds just like that.
Ooh. Drox there to find himself at least the one. They need to fight into Annex nicely here, and they do. PZ and Drox in unison. Now just have to deal with Crunchy, who's eaten a headshot through the wall. Survived somehow. Housebets down toward B with that bomb. Kind of just isolating themselves into some one-on-ones, but it's going to take Crunchy a long time to clear out A. And then he has to get down to B, so this feels pretty unwinnable.
Oh, he's gone behind Drox. Oh, Lord. Drox must have just barely seen him. Odd situation. Thought there might have been a knife or eye, but alas, it's 9 on the board. And big damage, arguably, from Mindfreak onto Housebets economy. Crispy couple of initial shots, but Housebets steady the ship. One more to get that big double digits on the board. The first step towards safety. And look, Jordan, you've seen a little bit of chaos lately, right? Have you been keeping up with Roosters games and what they've been doing?
I have, yeah.
You have. Well, do you see either of these teams beating Rooster in the upper bracket?
Yes, actually. I think Rooster have been a little bit up and down lately. I do think Rooster should still win that game, but I can see either Mindfreak or Housebets beating them. Yeah, I think that is very much a possibility.
All right. So maybe a 3-horse race.
Yeah, well, Housebets doing a pretty good job so far of ensuring that it will be them to play against Rooster. However, Vision going down in this round has just brought it back to the 4-on-4. While Housebets have got some nice map control, Mindfreak happy to just let them have that out as position. Doubled up behind Silo. Takes up. Going to have to essentially save Cairo's life here if a push does come through. And gets a decent first shot in himself, but Cairo unable to turn around and find the trade. So Drox for a double will ensure this round is going the way of Housebets.
Yeah, rough position to play from. Cairo didn't want to bait, swung into the open, and unfortunately suffered the same fate. And sometimes, look, that's such a weird angle to clear as a T coming in from heaven that maybe it's best if you do just, you know, do a little bait situation like text to go 1-for-1 and then maybe just play a sneaky game instead. But look, hindsight's 20/20, and they didn't know that, you know, main was clear. So someone had to be clear in every little part, covering all the angles. And Crunchy will be covering that M4 and taking it into the next. Well, that's going to be 10 for Housebets. So far, flawless, essentially, on their T side.
Yeah, this is getting pretty grim for Mindfreak. Another lost round here. I mean, 3.4k loss bonus gives you some kind of leeway, but a lost round here without any guns taken through is pretty much the end of the game for Mindfreak. So, kind of have to be getting a win here, and Techstar started it nicely with that kill on to Drox. The rest of Housebets more or less just sort of stuck behind all of the util that Mindfreak have tossed on outer, and not really achieving a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't hate that. You know, get the pick, fall off. Try and play the numbers game for Mindfreak. PZ. Tip of the spear down secret. Not going to lead the charge, hold the line. And try and slot APOC Dart into a position to at least go for a trade. If there is any CT sneaking around the corner. This time though, Vision making his way back towards T-Roof. Bit of noise as well. And I dare say Cairo was close enough to hear that drop-off. They don't seem to be too phased about what's going on over towards the lobby now. They are just trying to make a move. And Crunchy beating them to the punch by already being towards the bottom of ramp. But he's going to stay safe there. Look to potentially posture just for the retake and try and cut him off on the cross. Oh, bit of damage. No pick, but it's pain to find one on the Vision in the meanwhile.
Oh, I mean, this is very winnable for Housebets. Players to find on the lower bomb site, never going to be easy. peasy caught jumping for some reason. Still got a shot off, but wasn't able to land it. And now just on to APOC Dud. So the chances are getting slimmer and slimmer for a Housebets win. Oof, no shot. And so that is a round at least for Mindfreak.
Yeah, arguably one that they desperately needed if they want to stay in the game here on Nuke. Big couple of picks to put 7 on the board. And look, I liked what Housebets were trying to do with the fake here, you know. Vision crucial pick onto Texter. Getting a bit too big for his boots there up on T-Roof. But Housebets, plenty of cash to reinvest into the 18th. It's every round after this where things could get a little bit more curious in terms of the money. Nip wall towards outside. Texter with the glaive smoke is going to hear everything happening here. Might even be able to make a play over towards the top of red. Won't be able to get another pick. It's tucked to find one with a cracked smoke instead. And things getting incredibly chaotic. Apoc Dud is known towards the T-spawn area. But are they aware that the cross has come so deep just with the bomb who's solo? That's PZ down here. Crunchy aware. And, oh, waiting with open arms. But he may fumble the bag, and with the bomb spotted, that should trigger the rotation down. Payne joining the fray, but the other two looking to pump out door. If they can get a pick here, then maybe they can just rotate back to upper.
Oh, there's that pick. Cairo still on the site, though. Might be able to shut this one down. They're going to line up for him. Should be a trade in for Vision, but he's now going to have to get the job done solo. And collecting that bomb will be the first port of call. Quick bomb plant. It's not a bad choice. Payne going up the ladder. But not there in time to catch Vision creeping into Hut. So Crunchy, the cyber sleuth, is going to have to try to figure out exactly where Vision has gone. Smoke in. That'll be the end of Payne. But bomb has been tapped. Vision just going to take the gamble here. It's a good gamble to take. Crunchy not expecting him on that side of Hut. We'll lose the duel, and Housebets are now up to 11.
Well played there from big old Viz. Bringing it back in that 1v2. And if there's anything I know about Crunchy, it's that that man, I don't think he's ever stuck a defuse in his life. In the years that I've known him and watched his professional career, he taps and fights. He'll always tap once and fight. He will never stick it on the first time. And he always believes it's dumb to stick it on the first time. The amount of times I've seen him not budge when someone taps it and they stick it is actually a little insane. So that's a fun fact for everyone out there. A tendency that if I'm aware of, I'm sure the team should be too. But that being said, it's a rough start of the round for Mindfreak. Housebets in a good position after losing Vision. But they are going to be hunting for the secret control. Bit of a bloodbath just around the bend here. Payne pre-aiming, and Texter plenty in the magazine to keep on fighting here. Two more to find, but it's PZ to clear him up.
Beginning of the end for Mindfreak, isn't it?
Feels that way. Plenty of util for Housebets to use. And Cairo, who was the A site anchor, has repositioned onto the B site. So hoping that the element of surprise works for him. Actually, was he the anchor? My brain's a little off. Maybe he was the ramp player, and last round when he was on A, he was doing a sneaky. With that being said, Housebets are making the right move. It's Drox just clearing out the A site from up top in heaven. And with that, it is more than enough to get the bomb down and put themselves in positions to make sure a 12th round will be set in stone. A little bit of typing in the chat. Maybe a tactical moving into the final. Maybe just a question. Oh,
okay. That'll do it. No guns taken through. There's going to be a bit of a wishy-washy buy for Mindfreak. Couple of M4s, but beyond that, it is wishful thinking. FAMAS for Crunchy. Cairo unlikely to afford himself an M4 either. Texas opted to go without util just to get the A4. All signs pointing towards a Housebets victory right here. And the Looks like they're going to try and do it quickly as well. Flashes are really, really nice. Tux could not see a thing. And Vision has just gone charging past Annex, not even paying attention to it at all, and survived. Texter is on the side, by the way. They've got to trade that one down. Trox gets himself his head locked off. And wow, no one's killing Texter. Nobody was looking at Texter. I don't know how. That round's fallen apart for Housebets.
Did he just sit at... I need to see the replays. Was he just at Tetris the whole time? And no one looked at it?
I don't know. I don't think he was at Tetris the whole time. He moved into that position, so maybe he was playing like front vent or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Door in the smoke or something, and he's just come out of the smoke, followed him in, makes his way to Tetris, which was cleared. And then Crunchy coming through too, so good timing on the flood. Nice little maneuvering. Will Housebets just run it back, do it again? Or are they heading to ramp instead? Blocked by the smoke. And also needs to be noted that they have just bought down to 2K. Just making sure that they're all good to buy into the next instead. Vision playing anti and hoping that Mindfreak, for whatever reason, run at them.
Crunchy. Very nicely timed Insend is going to keep Housebets waiting. And it's a pretty solid hold for ramp room here, to be honest. I mean, you've got Texter on one side, you've got Crunchy there as well. Housebets should not be getting through this one, but they do.
They do. It's all thanks to Drox, just bunny hopping out. Sometimes a little bit of movement gets you a long way. Crazy that. Got the hops, draw the crosshair away, create the space that you need to. Let the others just follow through. Crosshair in a good spot for Tux, but he won't find the second. PZ, higher caliber with the AK retrieved. And now in a round where they brought almost nothing in, Housebets are looking to close out the festivities.
Yeah, long rotate here for Cairo and Payne. Cairo having to clear out Annex on his way through, and Payne gambling that there's nobody up in heaven. He will be proven correct there. So they made good time. They can make some decent pace happen here. PZ spotted out. He'll be finished off by Payne, and damyo drops as well, which does leave it on to APOC Dud, who at this point doesn't really have many options but to just try and play the time, hope that this is not going to actually be a real defuse. In the end, he'll be proven wrong. So Housebets can't get it done here either. 12-9 now. Mindfreak creeping closer to a potential overtime.
Yeah, not a bad position there to be in. Cairo, I actually like how he's playing. Like in a couple of these moments as well. Has his head screwed on. Really nice timing on his peaks, but then also like the jump peak over towards Decon. And that's towards the advanced side of things. It's good that he's, you know, aware and ready. And he's had a couple of these things just, you know, trained into him. So good to see he's putting in the reps. And Housebets will be taking just a cheeky tactical timeout to buy a bit more time to figure out how the hell they're going to close this one out. And honestly, if they go for a faster APOP again, I wouldn't be against it. I like what it looked like the first time. It was just when Texter got all sneaky with it through the smoke that it did, unfortunately, send things south for Housebets. But who's to say he'll be able to do that again? Outside smokes and a lot more attention from Housebets this time.
But nothing pacey from Housebets just yet either.
Yeah, not yet. Nice little glaive smoke break lineup. Cheeky.
Yeah, they've cleared out the red crate, that's for sure. But where to from here for Housebets? Because that's cost them a lot of their util, and there isn't actually a huge amount left. They've got one smoke, couple of mollies. Looks like, again, it'll just be the outest play for Housebets, which seems to be where they're most comfortable. They have been pretty good at taking that outer space quickly.
Oh, Drox is here quick. And the thing about this is, I don't know if Mindfreak are aware that he's gone to heaven, but I don't know if they even care either. They're just going to be going aggressive elsewhere over towards Hut instead, and Vision might have found himself a timing coming in behind Tux, who isn't quite aware, but he's dropped that smoke on a nice time, and it's APOC Dud to find him. You all thought it was Vision. but he had no vision of it. Now it's a 3v3. Bomb still yet to be planted. Lovely shot from Crunchy, and the Sharp Man wants to try to get it done, but Peasy is taking it into his own hands. Damyo spots the final man, and we could be all over here.
Yeah, Texter, though, not a bad player at all. And the problem is, not expecting Damio's position, but still able to land the headshot. And he's aware, of course, of where PZ is. But tough duel to win when you've not got the HP, and that will be it. Housebets will win their opening game of the ESL Challenger League playoffs. It's, again, a fairly close one against Mindfreak, but I think we can say decisively they were the better team today. Really, really solid on their own map pick. A comfortable enough victory on Nuke.